What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. We're going to do this poll town objective with like some Q&A because I thought it would be probably the best thing to do. We're just going to quickly do this poll town upgrade, and I've got some of the questions here that some of you guys asked on my social medias. I kind of skimmed through, well, I tried to go through them all. I'll do this while I'm live, while I'm playing, if that makes sense. I'll try to get through everything, but I just have like a random order in place. And I thought, you know, why don't I just do this poll town objective? And at the same time, I thought it would be a good idea to do, you know, this objective. So I'm going to quickly set this formation up. And on that note, we're going to start with the first one. Compare 4-4-2, 4-2-2, and 4-4-2 second variation. In all honesty, when it comes to these formations, I think the 4-4-2 is the best formation. The reason why is all the formations are very much the same. The 4-4-2, 4-2-2. But the main thing, in my opinion, which makes the 4-4-2 the best, is the fact you have two CDMs. Now, with the CDMs, you can do cut passing lanes, whereas in a 4-4-2, you can't do it. And I think also it's harder to build up with the centimeters a bit more forward. It's more attacking formation, but I think the 4-4-2 is more versatile, the second variation, and that's why I prefer it more. So you can put cut passing lanes, and I think that is probably the sole reason. Plus, I think it's easy to build up with this formation. Yeah, and then the 4-2-2, sorry, should I say, it's very similar to the 4-4-2. The only issue is these guys are cams. So with the cams, you can't really depict, if you try to think in your head what a pitch is like, right? And you want a player to stay wide or get in behind, you can't really define that. Not depict, define. Sorry, just woke up. Define is the correct terminology, and that's why I think the 4-4-2, you know, they all play very similar. But why would you not have the 4-4-2 second variation where you kind of got a lot of choices? But anyway, let's go straight into another question. That was a difficult one to ask in a short amount of time. Path. Would you rather FIFA 19 first time shots or FIFA 20 broken pass mechanics? This is actually a very interesting question. I thought you meant FIFA 20 or FIFA 19. Would I rather have FIFA 19 first time shots, FIFA 20 broken passing mechanics? I'd rather have FIFA 20, I'll be honest, broken passing mechanics rather than first time shots. First time shots was a nightmare because you could do 180s, 360 shots, and it was just so easy to get or score a goal. George would say, what is your main formation in a weekend league? In all honesty, this really depends on what video I'm making. Sometimes if I'm making a video that week, I decide to use that actual formation. So let's say, for example, I don't know, I'm using, let's say I'm making a 5-3-2 video, I'll make that formation, if that makes sense. So it kind of depends on what I'm playing, what I'm doing, etc, etc. I think I can make a substitute. I don't even know. Let me just double check. By the way, when you're defending kickoff, one key thing is to never run out like I do. Try to be conservative, but that's another question altogether. Yeah, try to always run back with your strikers. Actually, that's probably the best thing to do from kickoff. What do we want to do? We wanted to make some subs. We're going to take Jesus off. Half our team is dead. No energy. We'll take Zielinski off. And we'll put Martinez here. I think that should be fine to put like that. Yeah, so I think 4-2-3-1 is kind of my main defensive formation, or my go-to overall in a bad connection. 4-4-2 is what I like the most, though, personally. But I also, as I said, depends what video I'm making. I try to use the formation for that video for that week. That way, if someone tunes into my stream and they like my 4-2-3-1 video, for example, or let's say I made like I'm planning on making a 4-3-2-1. So the idea is you watch that video and you're like, oh yeah, I like this 4-2-1. Let me go to Neil's stream and see if he's playing that one. And that's kind of what I do. Would you make a narrow formation overload the ball side gets patched? No, I wouldn't. I don't use overload the ball side, in case you're wondering, because I just don't like using it. I just think it just kind of promote. It's kind of sound quite. You're going to see, if you're watching this on my second channel, you're going to see a video on my main channel later on today explaining how to use overload the ball side. I'm not saying don't use it, but I don't want to use it because you're just going to advocate people parking the bus. And for me, as you guys probably know already, the win is not the do or die for me. No, I just want to have fun. And I think, you know, parking the bus is not really the best thing to do. I think it's probably very boring as well. But no, I'll just reduce the width if a new form. But I wouldn't change a formation because of overload the ball side. You know, it'll still be very effective when they patch it, even if they do. I mean, what they can maybe do is players don't really press. Maybe they can do that unbalanced, or maybe potentially, you know, they don't really shrink as much or overload as much. But that might be a couple of weeks or even months before we get an update for that. But that's another thing entirely. Mauricio goes, how do you counter players that sprint at you? So if players sprint at you, normally just pass the ball around like this. Or I use left stick dribbling, as you can see. So this way when they sprint towards me, they'll kind of sprint around me. So like if I have the ball here and I left stick dribble, you see how they're kind of sprinting away from me, but I can quickly change direction, you see that? And that's the benefit of people sprinting at you, that you can quickly use the left stick dribbling to change direction. So you keep using left stick dribbling. Also, if you're getting run out, just pass the ball around. You know, if you're ever in trouble, pass the ball around. You target the sideline, spread your players out if you are in serious trouble as well. But yeah, left stick dribbling is kind of my main go-to way or method of kind of getting rid of people that are sprinting at you. That way you can have more control, and you can beat the man, if that makes sense. Let's hopefully try to score this goal here with a Mbappe. Simple drag back. Oh, good read. Shafiq goes, you got a degree in football and good football analysis. Would you go into coaching or management? I thought about this. I don't think I'd be a good coach, in all honesty. Maybe I'd be like one of those people that works alongside a coach. Do you know what I mean? Like someone maybe prepares tactics or something, analyzes the team. Maybe that sense, but an actual coach, I'd probably say no. I don't think, number one, I really want to be a coach. Not that I think I do, but I don't think it's something that really... It's something that interests me, but not something that I really want to be. I think I would rather be like, you know, someone in the backroom stuff, you know, someone that maybe helps, you know, and analyze a certain team, see how they play or something like that. I think that would probably be a role that suits. I think in this day and age, being a coach, some of the best coaches in the world, like Mourinho, you know, it's a tough game. And even if I did, I would like to play same way I play FIFA, only attacking football. So I'd be like some kind of like Pep Guardiola guy, where I need a good team. Otherwise, if I had a bad team, I would struggle. And let's be real, I don't think no one's gonna even. I'll be lucky if I get a Sunday League team to bench, let alone an actual team. But yeah, I don't know what I want to get into. I like content creation. I like how people get better at the game. I like teaching people. I think it's kind of a lot. It's like my FIFA is what I enjoy. I like teaching people as well. I think teach people the right way. I think, and obviously sharing my knowledge, I think, is kind of something I enjoy as well. So, and gaming, of course, is in my heart. So yeah, maybe someone analyzes gameplay, maybe looks at strengths and weaknesses, but I doubt coaching. I really doubt. Not now, anyway. Any advice on the best TV monitor? Sean asks. He went from a 50-inch to 32-inch, and it's amazingly better. It's really better. It depends. I play on a 27-inch. I would recommend, if you get a monitor, try to get like obviously a below a 27-inch. I think 24, 22 is perfect. I play on 27, just a tiny bit bigger. Personal preference. But yeah, I'm trying to get 1 ms response time. I think that's the key. What you want to get, 1 ms response time. And I think not only that, but you want to get a TV where it's not too big. Like, it depends where you're sitting. I mean, like, if you're in the living room, a bigger TV might appeal to you. But if you use the co-op camera angle, for example, I used to use a 40-inch TV and I used to sit in front of it with a co-op camera angle. And sometimes now with a 27-inch with a co-op camera angle, sometimes I have to move my head forward a bit. So it depends, really. I would say it just depends. But I would say try to play on I think 24 is the ideal size if you're sitting right next to it. If you've got like a TV and you're sitting a bit far, obviously the better. But then obviously it depends on your camera angle as well. If you're playing co-op, you might need a bit like a bigger TV. Like if you're playing co-op on a 14-inch TV and you're sitting right next to it, it's going to be much harder to see on a 14-inch. Whereas if you played, for example, telly, and you're sitting the same distance. So it depends on your camera angle as well. But I would say 24 is the sweet spot. 1 ms response time is the most important thing. Next random question. Johnny says, new game mode, what would it be? If I could create a new game mode? I don't even know, actually. I think... I didn't really like Volta. I mean, I wasn't really much of a big FIFA Street player when I was a kid. So I haven't really touched Volta that much. I think maybe Ultimate Team Co-op will be good. Maybe you can combine some players of your team and your mate's team, something like that. I think that would be a decent idea, but I don't know. See, for me, FIFA is only one game. You know what I mean? It's 11v11, controller versus controller, human versus human. That's the way it is for me. That's kind of the way I like it, anyways. I mean, I don't really care, but I think it would be interesting to see, you know, something like, you know, maybe like, you know, a little bit less dribbling, green time shot. Oh, good save in the end. What's the next question? Okay, so Chriso says, how are top 100 people the same? Do they really get better? I'm presuming he's talking about the top 100 people in a weekend league. I'll be honest, once you get top 100, it's first a mental barrier, but once you get it, it's extremely difficult because the game is not guaranteed. Now, these pro players, no matter what you think, you have to respect them. Now, maybe you could argue there's so many people getting top 100. I agree. I think matchmaking is wrong. I mean, if you're a pro player, it's very easy at that level to get top 100 if you actually play serious. You know what I mean? If you like, do everything you can in your favor, like you do, with my goalkeeper there, by the way. Like if you, for example, I know it's gonna sound stupid, but match fix, cherry pick your opponents. There's a lot of things you can do to make it a bit easier for you. But these guys are already top 100 players anyway. The only reason why they won't make top 100 is that if they face another fellow pro player. So most pro players are going to get 30-0. It's still difficult though. I mean, I don't know. Like, see, because they're competitive players is different. See, I play the game very casually, so it's a different situation. But if I was a competitive player, I mean, I would play try hard. I'll play overload the ball side, park the bus, one depth. That's the way it'll be if you want to win. But they get it because I think matchmaking is incorrect. I think they need to make a progressive system. So once you're reaching 25, 26, you need to be matching someone who's got 25, 26 wins, not someone who's like 14 and 15 or gold 1, for example. Because gold 1, 20 wins and 25 wins is a different ball game. So I think in matchmaking could be a bit better. That way you can avoid everyone getting top 100. That's what I wish. I wish there was a progressive matchmaking system. But then again, for me, Foot Champs is a very casual game mode because I like the fact that yes, people park the bus, but it's quite a casual game mode in my opinion. Play a range of different players. So Owen goes, so how do we stop it? So Christian says, I don't even know. I mean, apart from matchmaking, I have to respect what they do at the end of the day. It's hard to get top. It's not easy to get top 100. I mean, I've tried hard once this year. I want to go try it again because now I have the team. I'll be honest. I don't enjoy this game. If you remember this time last year, I used to play with a 15k team, gold team, and I used to go into weekend league wanting to find pro players because that was just fun, trying to challenge a pro player. But now it's mundane because I think it's become more apparent to me that the skill gap is almost non-existent. I think now a gold 3 player can easily beat an elite 1 player. If you think about it, if they just park the bus correctly, play very safe. A lot of people now are not just parking the bus in order to just get the win out. They're completely parking the bus and not attacking and waiting for that one counter attack. And don't forget, in real life, parking the bus, let's not compare parking the bus in real life is actually very difficult. For you to all stay in line, hold your line, mark the runs, it's difficult. In FIFA, where AI is controlling half your players and it's one mind versus another mind, parking a bus is extremely easy. So there's no skill involved in parking a bus, none whatsoever. Nothing like real life, where there's a lot of skill involved. But more importantly, it's one human brain controlling everything. So you can cover for someone else. In real life, for example, if you decide to take a slide tackle, someone's got to cover for you. So it's a different ball game. So I don't think people would say it takes skill. There's no skill involved in parking a bus, but it is very effective. So that was bad play. MXC's favourite footballer. This is actually an interesting question. I have many, obviously. The Messi, I think, when I was a kid, it's got to be Henry. As an Arsenal fan, I'm going to say Thierry Henry. But obviously Messi, Ronaldo. I think I really like Cesc Fabregas because obviously when I was a kid, when I was watching, Cesc was kind of emerging. Then he kind of took over that, I suppose you can say forced a couple of players out in our Arsenal squad. And was kind of the main key marksman until he went to Barcelona and then he returned to Chelsea. I think still is one of my favourite players. Plays for Monaco now. Yeah, I think David Villa was also a very good favourite player of mine. Quite late on in my life, but I used to watch the highlights. Him at Valencia, I think he was so underrated. I think obviously Messi was one of my favourite players as well. And when I was a kid, Ronaldo not so much. It was only when I was later on in life where I could kind of appreciate the good players. I think when I was a kid I was a bit salty there, let's be honest. I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan and you see Ronaldo killing you every single time, he's playing you and legit taking you out of the league single-handedly, or knocking you out of Champions League, doing magic, you feel like some sort of not hate, but you can almost say it's almost like envious that, I wish I had him on my team. Same with Mourinho. I still hate Mourinho's football style, but I think he's the best manager to win what he's done with teams he's had. Like, he doesn't have the best of teams and he still won the league and whatever, won the Champions League. So for what he did, I think he's one of my favorite managers. I don't like his football, but he's a winner. That's the most important thing. So yeah, Messi, Ronaldo, managers. I would say obviously Wenger. People don't. I think people understand football and economics, know what he did, how he built a stadium in that time. I mean, it's not like the TV deals nowadays where you can just build a stadium in a couple of years' money or or a certain deal. TV deals aren't worth as much, and yet he rejected Real Madrid, so many clubs just to stay with Arsenal. So I think obviously Wenger, Mourinho, Ferguson, obviously Guardiola, I think as well. And then I think for players, Messi, Ronaldo later on in my life, Ronaldo, Villa, Henry. So yeah, I think although I think when I was 16 onwards, then I appreciated all those players more. I think if that makes sense. Well, I think Messi was mainly just emerging at that point, but I mean, I appreciated, I suppose you could say, football more. So I looked at it from like a neutral perspective rather than Arsenal are the best team in the world. If that makes sense. As Owen asked, what does balance instructions do? So I'm going to go back to this question because I think I spoke about it, but I didn't speak about it properly. Balanced, what it does is your player will adhere to the instructions. I'm just going to show you something now. Okay, I missed that. So I'm just going to show. So basically, balance, what it does is it depends on the FIFA. Like you can argue some FIFA have better runs than other one. But balance basically means that the players will adhere to the work rate. So if you put a centre mid and you put him on balance, that means that if he's a high, he would equally work as well defending as he does. So let's say for example someone like Gomez, right? Okay, well, he's gone on that. This is an absolute shambles. Basically, long story short, balance basically tactically means that they would adhere to the work rates and they would do a bit of everything. If you have them on stay back, they're always going to stay back. If you have them on stay forward, they're always going to stay forward. If you have them on balance, they're going to do a bit of everything. So they're going to come back, they're going to defend. It depends on the work rate. Someone like Aguero's got high, low. That means they're naturally they're still going to come back and defend, but maybe not as much, and the position will be a bit different. In case you're wondering why we're in Division 4 as well, because we don't even play on this account anymore. I think everyone knows who I am now. And every single game I do play, it's just a bunch of tryhards. So I kind of avoid playing on NealGuides. And I have not played Rivals, I think, since the game came out. One skill move I'd recommend, I'll suggest. We'll go for a couple of more mods. I think the drag back, fake shot, and a ball roll are really good. If I had to choose just one, I would say the fake shot has a 360 exit, very versatile. I can use it on a wing, defensively, and attacking 1v1. I think it's the best skill move. Skiller says, what makes you get up in the morning? What drives you to do YouTube? This is actually an interesting question. I think what makes me get up in the morning, that is a question I actually don't even know. I'd be lying if I said I did. Let's open some of these packs. I'd be lying if I said I did. I don't even know what gets me up in the morning. I think obviously to create something, I think I see myself as a creator. Making a difference. I know it sounds a bit cheesy. I know, but doing something that no one else is doing and then creating a difference. I think I'm an efficient kind of person. I think if I'm doing something which is efficient and maybe making whatever situation better, let's say even with the football videos, like if I'm making a video and I know it's going to sound a bit biased, but let's say I make a football video and let's say in my head, I think I got the best video out there and it does the best in teaching you. I think for me, that's what makes me get up. And I think building something, I think at the end of the day, what drives me to do YouTube? I was always a YouTuber before even YouTube released a website called Meta Cafe back in 2003, 2004. I used to make football videos on that. I used to make tech videos when I was a kid, so I've always been a YouTuber. I kind of left it because unfortunately my father advised me to steer away from it, saying it's a waste of time. Looking back now, it's probably my biggest regret in my life because I did pretty well back in the day, and I think I would have probably succeeded way more than I have now. Whereas now it's kind of hard. It's hard to break into the market. I think now, like, you have to be at your very best. Back in the day when I used to make a video, what's considered standard now, back in the day wasn't. So like when I made a tutorial, I used to have like a separate website, and I used to have like all the information on one page, whereas people used to have like mega upload links. But that's just an example. So I just think it's the efficiency problem. But I think it sounds cheesy, making a difference, knowing that, for example, some people are watching my video and they're helping people. I mean, even when I don't know something, if I want to get better at, for example, I'm trying to get better at Fortnite, I go on YouTube. I mean, it's hard to find a video that explains everything and detailed, and maybe you can skip through it, whatever. But yeah, I think that's the key thing. Last question I will say from Mr. West. Is it West? Mr. West, let's just say, just in case. Squad builder with James and Yedda. I'll be honest, squad builders, maybe, I'll be honest. This Daniel James card is actually a very good card. In all honesty, I just can't be asked to do squad battles is just too much for me. It's not something I really want to do, I'll be honest. Squad battles is a headache. For me, it's extremely boring. I don't mind a couple of, like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 squad battles games a month. A month, but to do 20, I mean, I kind of did halfway through that James objective on my main, but I didn't want to play 20 games of squad battles. It wasn't worth it. Not on legendary. I mean, if it was semi-pro or whatever, okay, I don't mind. I could do something else, but legendary, I think you have to somewhat pay attention. So that's why, yeah, I didn't do it. But anyway, that's kind of the questions. Thank you very much for submitting questions. Of course, I couldn't go through all of them, but I really, really appreciate you, of course, sending all your questions in. Much appreciated. Let me know if you like these kind of videos. I kind of want to do in the mind of an elite player and bringing back that series. I think that helped a lot of people. And yeah, I thought I don't like playing this game, so I thought let me just kill two birds with one stone while I'm doing this objective. And I thought, you know, maybe ask some of your questions. The final one I wanted to go over is someone said to me, do you prefer FIFA 20 or FIFA 19? Wait. Oh my god, I didn't score a goal, Politano. Well, that was an absolute rip. I basically just wasted my time. Oh well. Yeah, so someone just asked someone asked yeah, FIFA 20, FIFA 19. I think 19 is a broken game. Beach ball 19 I call it, but I think in terms of the fun element, I'd rather be playing against people who are I'd rather be playing normal football, like people doing El Tornadoes, fake first time shots, all this nonsense, than play this boring game right now. It's so mundane that I just don't enjoy it. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, boys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do you have any other questions, of course, do let me know. Take it out. Take it out. Take it easy, boys. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one. And don't forget to watch my Reloaded Ball Star video, which will be out today on my main account. Peace out.